Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatchTix.com. Elevate your game is what Zeblaze says with the Stratos 3 Pro. We just recently reviewed the BT5 3 Pro, and if you recall, the big upgrade on this one was the screen from an IPS to an AMOLED always-on screen. Well, the Stratos 3 already was AMOLED, already did have all of those features. What's the difference with the Pro? You're about to find out as we unbox it and take a look at it at this particular video. Now, for one, the box is all changed. It's black. It's got the new logo theme on the side, but it's laid out very similar with the module sitting inside of a little cushion that looks like this. And where can you get it? Couple of places. Banggood's carrying it, of course. The world premiere, they say, of the Stratos 3 Pro 1.43-inch HD AMOLED display, exactly the same as the Stratos 3. The Pro's coming in a little bit over $60. With a coupon discount, we can probably pull that in under. If you head over to AliExpress, they're looking at about 58 and a half. Again, we might have some coupon discounts for you there. Both Banggood and AliExpress links are in the show notes, and we appreciate it when you use our links. It lets them know that you learned about them here on Smartwatch Tix. Overall specs, let's run through these and kind of compare them with best I remember from the original. Integrated GPS and all these other things, yes, that's in both of the watches. Bluetooth 5.3, no change there. It uses the Zeblaze Fit Tethering app. Yes, identical, with a tiny little twist in the new one. That's what's important. You got all these different languages supported, no change there. Information you can do. It's Bluetooth calling watch, of course, and really good, solid quality in the speaker. You can reject a call, you can do all these things with information reminders, and of course you can make and receive phone calls. Health covers all of these items, including sleep time, blood oxygen, blood pressure, stress level. They're identical. Only heart rate is continuous heart rate. The others are incremental. You take individual measurements. Ladies' menstrual cycle tracking. You got breathing exercises. This should say 100+ sports mode. As far as I can tell, no difference in all of the different sporting activities either between the original and the Pro. But wait, there's another page to this one. There's a few more different sports that are covered. I think they're trying to give you the list of all of them. There's your lifestyle features, which includes automatic daylight savings time, smartwatch or stopwatch, a timer, weather, power savings modes. It's IP68 waterproof, but it's not recommended for swimming and showering, which is kind of odd. A gravity sensor, proximity sensor. There's no compass in either of these that I can tell. Again, back to 1.43-inch. The specs are identical between the two, including the 1000 nit brightness between the original Stratos 3 and the Stratos 3 Pro. But you do have always-on display support on both of them, and all sorts of things. 400 milliamp hour battery, same. Your battery savings mode and battery life, same. In fact, everything is exactly the same. So why did they make a new one? Or why did they make the same one and call it the Stratos 3 Pro? One tiny difference I've seen so far, and that is when you get deep into the app itself and its process of working with transferring over your fitness data. Turn this on in a second, but keep going. I'll tell you more about that. Inside the box is the exact same charging dock. Looks exactly the same. They're interchangeable. This is the original Stratos. And now we have a dark color one here, kind of a gunmetal gray. The Stratos I reviewed was silver. I have a link in the show notes. You can watch that review if you want. Actually, you'll be able to see it coming up shortly because I'm going to replay that review for this particular one in just a moment, since they literally are 100% the same in operation. But this one's in a black gunmetal gray kind of a look, and the bands are a rubberized black, whereas the other watch, they are orange. And both watches are available in both colors. Just in case there's a difference in the manual, it does say Pro. We're going to page through it briefly, let you freeze frame it if you want to. The other manual has also been archived in the video review of that one. So if you want to compare the two manuals together to see if you see any differencing in the words, feel free to do that. They are calling it the Pro again, so there are a few changes in the manuals, and then we're into different languages as well. A quick push on the Start button up in the upper right-hand corner gives it what it needs to get the logo up. It vibrated briefly, and boom, it pops right into an initial watch face, which happens to be one of them I downloaded from their store on the app. There's the always on display in digital form. I preset this up so you could see some of the different ways that you can present the data on your watch. It's also got the twist your wrists activated now, and you can set the timeout. 5 seconds is its lowest. I set it on that right now so that we could play with this always on, and it'll go right into that mode. So you have always on available this way with a secondary soft screen that doesn't use much power, that'll give you more life out of your battery. Of course, if you'd like, you can set it up so that it'll be always on in whatever watch face you've got. And you can change that to different watch faces like this. I'll show you in a moment how we set that up. And it'll stay on in this mode all the time. It'll eat up your battery quicker, but if you like to walk around and have your real watch face as your real always on display, it can do that for you. So let's begin the overall look. When I swipe down, unlike most watches, your notifications show up here. Usually you swipe up for that. There it's going into this mode. So I do definitely want to get over and change the timeout on this. Swiping up is where you get into all the controls. I'm going to jump us right into settings. I'm going to bypass the brightness, bypass the wrist awake, and come over here to screen brightness time. I'm going to pop it down to always bright. Okay? Now, back here to this watch face, it won't ever go off. It'll stay on continuously. We can pop it into a different watch face like that one. Both digital and analog. You can set it for 12 or 24-hour time. You can change the overall brightness to be super bright like that. There's your 1,000 nits, guys. Outdoors, you're going to see it with ease. Boom, there's your first level. That's for your indoors at night. I usually run it at about a 2 or maybe a 3. You got Do Not Disturb. This is your always on display, on and off, that you can turn it on here. We don't need it on if we have it in always on mode like this, right? I think. Let's see what happens when it times out. Oh, you know what? It'll never time out, right? Aha. So, yeah, you got to understand the interplay between all of these things. This is a Do Not Disturb. You can turn on and off. You've got this one is a power savings mode. And then this one, when you're Bluetooth connected, we got to set that up again with the phone, is where you can locate your phone. Okay, and that's all of the controls here. Then when we start sliding around, you get into some of your other stuff, like your heart rate. It's immediately trying to get a heart rate for you, your maximum, average, minimum, and it's showing you your daily heart rate from midnight until midnight. And that's all we see on this screen. Come over one more, we get blood oxygen. Now, interesting, it's got the chart for 0 to 24, but I haven't found a way to turn on continuous blood oxygen. So it'll take a single blood oxygen reading using both red and green diodes, it looks like. Takes it a little bit longer to get that, but it'll give you your overall reading right here when it settles down. Then you've got last night's sleep time in hours and minutes and a score. I got 74. Here's the sleep stages with deep sleep, I presume, and awake. It's upside down, isn't it? That's deep sleep, light sleep, awake, and that's probably REM sleep. Anyway, they're color-coded. So yeah, REM, which is what we all love. That's our dream time, an hour, 25 minutes. These are the times that was happening. Now, you can't see the exact time, but it gives you a guide. You'll see more in the app, of course. Stress, very similar to what we did with blood oxygen, but no 24-hour chart yet on this one. I might just be overlooking something because it's set up for that on the watch, so you would think you'd have the 24-hour capability. This likewise takes a while, and you can't be bouncing around like I am here because you're looking at heart rate variability, not just your pulse rate, but the distance between them. It's a gauge that's used to compute your overall stress. Oh, I just got a number, 36. Okay. Then you get to the widgets, which is exactly what you get when you go the other way. So guys, you can just skip all that stuff and go this way, because now, look at this. You got your overall activity that you can go into, calories, distance traveled, how many times you stood up, your steps, and then charts of calories, steps, standing that throughout the day. That's all right there in that first widget. You can set alarms. Here's your heart rate widget, which takes us right back to where we were. Session interrupted, continue. Let's X out of that. Blood oxygen, stress. There, I got a stress reading. I would have a reading showing in blood oxygen if I would have waited long enough to get that. Last night's sleep information, a breathing exercise, which is one of the apps, but you can get to it right here. If you've been working out, you want to have a high speed to start breathing and slow down from, you can do that. Or if you're going to bed or something, you can have a nice slow breathing rate. Do it for a minute or longer if you want to. Gives you a countdown. There's no vibration. It's backwards. It's saying inhale when it looks like you should be exhaling. At least that's my understanding. There, I got a vibration. And now I'm inhaling when anyway, if it works for you to do it this way, that's great. And it vibrates again. And it's really, really slow on that mode right there. I guess I got to push a button to get out of it. Okay. And anyway, that's one of the widgets that you've got here. The stress, the sleep, the breathing. You've got the weather in whatever city you have it set up for. Clear skies, weather forecast, temperature in Fahrenheit, centigrade, Celsius. Is that it? And that's it. So those are the different widgets. And again, we can press and hold and switch to yet another watch face here. So a bunch of nice watch faces in this one. When we tap the lower right button, we get into the different workouts. Now, walking, running, probably cycling, all of those kind are going to be geared to GPS. And they'll tie in with the GPS tracking that you can then, without taking your phone with you, get an overall track and get accurate distance measurements too. When we press the upper button, it toggles between watch face and your apps. The bottom one toggles into here and back. And from here, we can go through and see that your health is broken up into the activity, heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep, breathing, stress, and ladies' cycle tracker. This is not in any of the widgets or cards that we looked at, but it's available here. Your last period time, cycle length, last date, all of that is there. And it'll tell you when it's predicting the future for you and where you are right now. But you need to have that all set up. I think you might need to register as a female on the app, which is what I do these days. So if it's available, you'll see it. Otherwise, for the guys, it may not even show up on the watch. Okay, so that's everything under the health. Buzz is just going to vibrate and find your phone. Clock is where you can set alarms and timers, a stopwatch. And I haven't tested this to see if it runs in the background. No, it can't run in the background. Exit, so we'll exit it. But nice big digits on there. And look at this, you got a Pomodoro in here. Have you ever seen a Pomodoro on a watch before? Yeah, me either. It's focus time, set automatically for 25 minutes, but you can change it? Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, anyway, you start that up, and you don't want to lose the focus effect. The Do Not Disturb remote mode is going to be turned on for that 25 minutes, and it's going to do a countdown circle with the time that you're concentrating on being focused. So if you really need to work on a project or you're going to try to just relax, you can do it using that particular mode. That's interesting. Okay, workouts, we looked at all of those already from pressing the button down there. Beyond that, you've got sports record. If you've done any of workout activities, you'll see the records. They'll show up in here. You've got your overall reminders. whatever you set, add it and edit that from the app. And you got like a music player built into this one, weather we looked at, watch faces we've looked at, and then settings. So overall brightness, ringtone vibration, and you can go silent mode or vibration. Twist your wrist to see the time is activated here. You can have it turn on times that you set, or you can have it on 24/7, or you can turn it off. And again, now when we have it in always on display with the watch face being set to always on, that's moot. It doesn't work because there's no twisting to light it up. It's already lit up. And again, screen time is where you would set the always on for always really on mode. The do not disturb is pretty simple. You can have it set up also on a clock basis. So you go to bed, it'll be activated automatically. Or a smart do not disturb. I think it senses when you're not moving and turns it on automatically for you. Then your menu view, we've got list or grid view. We're going through the list view now, so it's easier to keep track of everything. And automatic sports detection. When you turn this puppy on now, when you begin moving, walking, running, whatever, it's going to detect that sport and move you into an actual sports tracking mode. About calls, it tells you, do you have to link the Bluetooth to the watch and turn the watch Bluetooth feature on, basically pairing it. You pair it first with the app, and then you pair separately for the calls. Some of the other watches have integrated that, so you do it one time, and within the watch you can toggle on and off the Bluetooth connectivity for phone calling, but not so with this one, which is interesting. It's a feature that's coming along, I guess, and growing into these things. Device info tells you it's the Stratos 3 and the Bluetooth name to look for, and then we're almost done. The always on display, you have available to turn that on, and you can use a digital or a pointer, which is the analog kind, and I want to show you that, so we're going to set that up. Activation time is 24/7, or you can set the duration so it's not using always on during nighttime if you want to. Now, in order to show you this, I have to go back to our screen bright time and change that, say, to 5 seconds, so we have a chance to see it, because this button does not turn it off. There's no way to turn the watch off other than to wait out the time out. And if the timeout with always on display is turned off, it'll go black. Otherwise, it's going to go like this. So you saw both the analog version, the digital, and the pointers have other information, your power level, the date. It's kind of covering it, but your step count is there. But that's what you get for always on display when you're in this particular mode. And of course, you can flip back and notice it just kind of matches. If you're going to use the analog watch, it matches with that. There is a little bit of period where it blacks out before it comes back. I think we've covered everything. We got the notifications, you got the widgets, you got everything that way, and we've looked at all of the different connectivity here. Let me let you listen to the speaker for a second. Okay, I'm setting up and placing a phone call to my cell phone, which is tethered to this watch. It's going to show the phone number that's calling. So I just want you to hear that. Listen to that. Isn't that amazing? Now, the speaker is right here. I can mute it by covering it. I mean, really mute it. And the calls are incredibly clear and crisp. You can hear the high frequencies in a person's voice. It's just really awesome. That's the sound of the speaker. They've improved significantly overall in the speaker technology with these watches. Let's switch over and take a look at the Tethering app now. It's the Zeblaze Fit app. This is what the icon looks like in the Google Play Store. You'll find it, download it. When you do, you set up an account. Then you tether it to the particular watch. We don't cover all of that stuff, but it's pretty easy to follow it and do it on your own. When you do, in the Health tab, you get access to all of this. Shows you a little picture of your watch, and a lot of different pieces of information, which we'll walk through. You have distance, calories, and step count being monitored in circle here, but this isn't touchable to go into it because they've divided it all out down here. I want to look at the step count. I come in here. There's a graph of my 24 hours versus steps, and the axis will change depending on how many steps you've walked. Your total mileage and calories are shown there, and it compares today with yesterday, and I could go back and show you yesterday right there, and that compares with the day before. So that's pretty good. Gives you a way of kind of comparing how you're doing. Distance, the same basic thing, is tied to the step count and the calories. All three integrate together, right? So these tabs are very much the same. Here's yesterday's, and you can see higher calorie count, and today, that particular day, was more than the day before, and you can get weekly and monthly summaries as well. Then you get this effective standing. This is if you stood up or didn't, and what hour or half hour you did it in, and it tracks all of that stuff for you. You can miss a few, but basically it's giving you that sedentary response to let you know how many hours out of the day you actually got up and stood. Then you got your overall workouts. I don't have any data on that yet. This is where all your GPS data would go. Now, I didn't do any of the workout routines on my review of the Stratos 3, but I have done that on the Stratos 3 Pro, and here's the differences between the two units. These are some walking and cycling activities I've done. When I go into this 2-hour one, it zooms in on my close-up of my chart. You can expand that out and see your entire track, but this is what's new. You can export the route file. When you tap this, it will save that particular route as a .gpx file. That's your latitude, longitude coordinates with time. And you can use that track in other apps. Likewise, you can import tracks from other apps into the Zeblaze app and make them available for review and tracking on the Pro version of the Stratos 3 watch. That's the main difference between these two watches. Your sleep tracking, here it is, wide awake, look at that, it's yellow. Rapid eye movement is up here. We saw that on the watch itself, and this is a breakout of the percentages and the hours of your total time when you went to sleep, when you woke up. And again, you got that for previous days, and it changes, of course. And here you go again. Different day there, didn't record any awake time there, but a lot of dreaming. And it does seem to correlate well with what I experience, especially toward waking up. If I'm having a lot of dreams, the ones that give us a sleep synopsis that have a high level of REM sleep showing up at that point in time, which is when you typically dream most, is just before you wake up, telling me that it's giving me a pretty accurate rendition of what my sleep mode is like. Here's our overall heart rate. It's continuous. Here's where I was working with it. Took a shower in the morning and whatnot. Have had it off, preparing for the review. Just put it back on, so it's starting to track again. So it just leaves blanks in those areas. Maximum, minimum, and average. A little bit more of information about heart rate. Here's yesterday just to compare. There's a full day. Not sure what... Oh, the little yellow dot is active when I'm moving. That's interesting, but it's not telling me any numbers associated with it. Well, never seen that before. All right, but the yellow dot is giving you where you last touched the screen. Anything from the day before. Yeah, there's another track. This is when I was doing a lot of yard work outside. Got really excited and into it. Took it off because I didn't want to scratch it before even showing it to you guys. Not that it would scratch, of course. And then put it back on afterwards. So yeah, it gives you a lot of good information. That's where I had some nice peak heart rate information for you. Blood oxygen, like I mentioned, I'm not showing a continuous chart. I'm not showing anything for today because I didn't take a measurement. There's yesterday. There's one from that first time I was working with it, 98. So it's not really doing a lot for blood oxygen. If you want to watch, it's getting you deep into analyzing your sleep related blood oxygen, monitoring for a dip, and maybe even vibrating if it senses you're holding your breath, sleep apnea situation. This isn't that watch. It doesn't do much regard to blood oxygen and nothing for blood pressure. So it's definitely more of a workout watch and a real watch to wear if you want always on display and a bright screen viewable outdoors. Ladies, here's your women's section on where you are in your cycle, when it started. You enter all of that stuff and you'll get the calendar that'll show you predicted information based on all of these different characteristics. Settings up there is where you do all of that. When you go to exercise now, you have a choice of two different maps. This is the one that's not Google, so it's not working in my area. If it were the Google map, you'd see exactly where I am and all of the roads and tributaries and everything around it. So it'll track GPS directly on here, and you can initiate a run, cycling, or walking in partnership with the watch from here just by hitting that start button. They haven't completed the translation for the app yet, so some Chinese is still appearing where it should be English because we're in the English mode. The overall device, power level, device management. You can have more than one thing tied to this app, which is great. You can also see the review of this app in my overall review of the Stratos 2 Lite, because I had that connected when we did this before. So if I'm covering things too fast, check that one. I might catch something in that I'm not catching in here. Dial centers, where I did want to take you to show you the dials that are set up here. And then you have an online dial area that you can pick from pointers, simplicity, business affairs, dazzling colors, and so forth. You can even do your own custom dial if you want to. And if I come in and pick one of these somewhere, which one are we using? This is similar to that one. No, I think that's exactly the same one, isn't it? I got sunrise. Oops. Well, I touched one, so I'm going to sync it for you just to show you how easy it is, how it works. It makes a connection, downloads it, and there it is. Okay, big, bright, bold, yeah. Now the question is, did that replace the other one? It sure did. Yeah, there's your stock 3 faces, and you can have only one custom face installed at a time. But you can, of course, pick from all of the different ones that you see there and install the particular one you want for the day. You can add your frequent contacts for calling, notifications, reminder settings, and so forth. Here's the continuous heart rate. Now, I would expect to see blood oxygen and stress having same kind of setup if it was continuous, and we don't see that in the app. Then your sleep settings, this is where you can have the rapid eye movement, but it's going to reduce your battery time on the watch. I haven't seen that as a problem. For me, if I could get 2, 3, 4 days out of a watch, that's fine. I can put up with charging it, that frequently. But other people can't, especially if you're going to be away from charging capability. Your weather settings, shake to take photos is there. And then your account, your information, how you register, all the stuff that you put in for it, calculating things. Again, female, gender, make sure that you can get the period tracking. Your overall units in metric or imperial and so forth. And then the map. This is where you can change it back to the Google map. And now if I go to the exercise tab, you'll see the actual Google map. Haven't been able to change the layers to satellite or hybrid or any of the other fancy Google maps, but the basic one is there. You can give feedback, data authorization for Strava. If you use that app, it'll transfer your data to Strava. And then, of course, accounts, about, and you can log out from there too. One last difference that I've noticed between the original Stratos 3 and the 3 Pro are the number of watch faces that you have. The Stratos 3, you had 3 actual stock faces. You only have 2 here on the 3 Pro, and the ability to add 1 custom face. You could add 1 also on the original Stratos 3, but no more. So you had 4 possible watch faces to choose from on the Stratos 3, and you have 3 on the 3 Pro. Yep. Well, this is it. It's a really nice watch. It does everything the Stratos 3 does, exactly. And the addition to export your track records and use them in other apps if you want to. It's available right now. You can pick it up directly from Banggood. The price is lower now than it was on the original Stratos 3, so that's a good thing. The Stratos 3 Pro, check the show notes for a coupon discount. And you also can pop over to AliExpress and pick it up directly from the Zeblaze official store over there. Again, hopefully we'll have some good coupon discounts for you if you want to buy from there. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again soon.